5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Poof! All right, everybody. Here we are. You are live with Neve, and it is 4 o'clock. It is a gorgeous day out. As you can see, my raven and crow friends are out. They're out cruising around, waiting for me to summon them for my enemies. You believe that? Well, I can teach you a few things. All right. It's Friday. I'm going to recap. Mostly today is going to be, I'm going to play some friends that we've had on before. I'm going to have to rehash this health stuff for you. So guys, if you already know what's going on with my health, I apologize. I'll keep this short and sweet as I can. Last Thursday, I was admitted to the hospital for, they thought I was having a stroke. And pretty scary shit, I'll just tell you that. I was pretty nervous. I tried to be stoic about most things, but I will admit it rattled me a little bit. That said, we're all going to die someday, and I'm not any different. I've done a lot of things. If that's the day, well, it's the day. The good news is, I'm sorry, chocolate. I've got chocolate on me. That is horrible. Look at me. What a guy. Caveman. That's what you get for eating a chocolate bar before the show. Damn it all. At any rate, getting back to my health. They did batteries of tests. They poked, prodded, jammed, examined, stuffed, tormented, scraped, pulled huge chunks of hair off my chest, getting those things off. So remember, pro tip, I know this and didn't follow my own advice. If you are going in for surgery, please shave your chest. Shave your arms so that when they tape them up, you don't rip off all the hair. I actually asked them, and none of them could even find me a clipper, which is absurd, but it's a simple thing to do. So there's a few things on that I want to do. I have a couple of things that are just fun of people I really like and miss. So today, I'm hoping Mandy will be joining us, but because of this communication stuff, I'm going to start by saying this. No, I don't have a stroke. I have a 60 to 70% blockage in my right carotid, stage right, for those of you in my biz. They have to go in, and they're going to have to go in and burn this shit out, the laser or something along those lines. And I don't know, I'm glad they're putting me out. I'll get that nice Michael Jackson style Propanol where I just go, ooh, ooh. Is that Michael? Michael, where are you? At any rate, so just keeping it really easy. You know, guys, I love doing this show, and I love the people who come on with me. You know, I've got so many friends. But just remember this, we're all going to leave someday. And if it happens to be my turn, well, we'll deal with it. Hopefully hopefully they'll realize my creative genius and take these 400 shows, and everybody will love them. And if not, look, none of us 50 years after our death, nobody's going to remember us. They're never going to remember all the passion, the love, and the good shit we felt. And, you know, life will kill you, as Warren Zevon would say. Right now, I'm going to play a little music from a friend of mine who's passed away, and I'm so sad. My heart's just, I can't get a hold of his family. He was a generous man. He left his entire songwriter's catalog, which was the Nashville Publishing House, and I am the guy who he gave all this info to that if you want to perform one of his excellent songs, get a hold of me, and I will get a hold of it. He will give you the producer's royalty. The rest of the money, we're going to give it to the Wounded Warriors Foundation. So he's going to still get his producer's cut. You're going to get the performance cut. And the third percentage is going to go to the Wounded Warriors. I met Ace and had him on my show half a dozen times. I really felt very strong that this guy had not only amazing talent, but he just had chops that kick ass. He was a really excellent human, and the world's a shittier place not having him here. I'm going to try and get anybody who would like to do some of these songs, to come on and listen to them. So I'm going to find one here. I think this is it. He has a song. I'm just going to go through it here, and I'll find where the song starts. Come on, Ace. Is this just an all interview? Okay. Well, just bear with me here a minute. This day is going to be a little weird, and you're probably not going to get to see it because all my fans are on Facebook, which you have to come over here because I'm leaving Facebook. I've had enough of their constant nonsense. So right now I'm going to do a search for Ace Arlo, and I'm going to play you a couple of my favorite songs this guy did. Let's see. Here we go. Here's Ace Arlo with me. Let's do an DuckDuckGo search. There we are. Now I'm going to pull up Ace's page. Come on. Open link. Now we're getting some action, people. The link is opening. It is taking its time. And another thing, I'm going to post this show on Ace's page after this. If you're any of the fans of Ace Arlo who knew his real name, I have his cell phone number, I have his email address, and I've been trying to contact his family, and I just haven't been able to get a hold of him. I'm really bummed about that. He was just one of the best musicians I know, period, and I'm going to try and find him right now on YouTube. Ace Arlo. The cool thing about this guy, and I have to just say it, this guy put his heart and soul into every song he ever did. I'm looking through his page right now. Give me a sec. I'm going to go ahead and present this to you and share it because it looks like it's just going to be me today. Okay. Let me first, let's get to present. We're going to share the screen. And we're going to go to Ace Arlo's YouTube page, okay? I'm going to have this just up on the screen in a minute. Now, I'm gonna just take myself off, but I'm going to hopefully be able.
Well, it's Friday night and the working week is done. I got my hours in and I'm thinking about number one. I don't want to think about working anymore. I'm gonna go out, gonna buy me a hardwood floor. I need a two-step rhythm and a country kind of crowd. When the lights are low and the music's way up loud, I'm gonna feel better the minute I hit the door. When my feet start tapping out a rhythm on the hardwood floor. A hardwood floor is where I wanna be. A hardwood last song plays, I always want a little bit more. All I wanna do is just dance on the
Hardwood floor. Yeah, now. Yeah, Lord have mercy.
Well, the crowd comes alive, songs like Tulsa Time. And there's old time rock and roll, and I walk the line. Well, there's Boots, Good Boogie, and a thing called Electric Slide. Stepping out on the floor with my baby right by my side. Hardwood floor,
That's where I wanna be.
hardwood floor.
That's where
I
I.
kissed my baby for the first time, having a good time. When the last song plays, I always want a little bit more. All I wanna do is just dance
On a hardwood floor.
Let's dance.
Woohoo!
Hardwood floor is where I wanna be. A hardwood floor is where I kiss my baby for the first time, having a good time. When the last song plays, I always want a little bit more. All I wanna do is just dance on the hardwood floor. All I wanna do is just dance on the hardwood floor. Yeah. All I wanna do is just dance on the hardwood floor.
And how is that, people? I know what's happening today is that all of the people who watch this show, at 4 p.m. are on. They're sending me emails to my Facebook page. Here's the problem. I have been censored for making a joke, and Zuck and his team of crack wizards found my joke offensive. I know everybody's going to want to hear the joke, so I'm just going to tell you what I said. A friend of mine is a promoter, and she is bringing a wonderful lady over from the Slavic part of the world. I don't know if it's Poland or Czechoslovakia, maybe Ukraine. As we all know, there are some seriously beautiful women in that part of the world. There's beautiful women everywhere in the world. They seem to have... There's a lot of old guys who go over and buy them there by the pound. When they get back, a couple of months later, they wake up, the car's gone, the bank account's been cleaned out, and she's married the husband from Russia that she's been with for 5 or 10 years before she came over here and picked her pocket. So that kind of stuff does happen. You know, that said, choose carefully, people. I'm coming back here and I'm looking through some of these songs. Now remember this, people, if you're a musician and you're out there, any of these songs can be performed. You can write them, you can change them, make them heavy metal, but you can help get Ace's family a little money since his demise. And, you know, you can do some good. You can take, some of these are, I'm telling you, they're just really, really world-class songs. He's written for a lot of famous people. And I was just lucky to call him a friend. He's one of my favorite people I have on the show. And he's just such a sweetheart of a guy. And I'm going to play some random stuff here. You know, I know Friday's a little weird. And just to tell you, I have to have surgery. So the next few weeks will be a little off. And I apologize. I know a lot of us are a little off. I'm sending an invite right now. Bear with me. Copied. Okay. And now I'm just going to go send a quick note to my cohort because I know Mandy's around. And let's see. We'll go to YouTube. And Mandy. You're not there. So I'm going to go to YouTube. Facebook. There we go. I'm going to send Mandy a quick invite. And if anybody's out there who's watching, you want to come on the show and talk to me a little bit, please be glad to. Let's see, where is my beautiful and talented Mandy? There we are. The lovely and talented Mandy will be joining us in seconds. See ya. So, here we are. We're actually at the end of the first break. I'm going to come back and I'm going to play you some more Ace Arlo. I think you're going to be really blown away with some of this stuff. And because today got kind of weird and I'm having some health issues, like I said, you'll be able to see this show every day until I get out of the hospital. I'm going to have reruns run every day, and I should only be screwing around with this for 2 weeks. And to tell you the truth, if I can do this show from the hospital and talk to guests via the computer, I will be here. I might only do one show a week. There's a good possibility you won't see me live, except through Mandy, if we can get our guests, if we can get the guests set up and have her cover the show. We'll have her do a few new shows, which is always good for any of us. But I'm going to pick a song here that is one of the songs that I just, this one in particular, it brings a little heartfelt stuff. Hang on, I'm presenting.
In this world we've got one life to live, so I try to give all I can give. We can leave something worthwhile behind when we're doing our best to be kind. You could strengthen your weakness right now. You could wait till it works itself out. Sometimes patience is all that we need. Stop the bleeding when you start to bleed. Time can be your enemy. Sometimes time can be your friend. But this time I'll be leaving, and I won't be back again. When a stranger comes to you in need, when the country is down on its knees, will you just turn your back and be cruel? Or will you follow the golden rule? Many people have given to me, so I focus on what I will leave. Do my best to be gentle and kind, and I will till I run out of time. Time can be your enemy. Sometimes time can be your friend. But this time I'll be leaving. I've got faith that I'll see you again. Time can be your enemy, and sometimes time can be your friend. This time I'll be leaving, and I won't I'll see you again.
Nice. What's up? So I guess I'm here and it's Friday, huh? Yep. Today I went to work. Someone tried to bite me only 2 times. So it's a good day. You expect me to keep talking? I really hope this isn't your whole idea for the whole show, because otherwise we're screwed.
Music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? When I'm gone, I hope you sing my songs, so they might have a life of their own. I take them up on stage and do some sing-alongs. Yeah, just take them and make them your own. It only makes me wonder who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone. Play my records, make sure the music lives on. Talk about me like a music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? I might be gone, but time marches on and on. After decades have passed and gone, generations have long moved on. The music lives on and on and on and on. Won't you tell me who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? Play my records, make sure the music lives on. Talk about me like a music icon. So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm gone? So who's gonna sing my songs when I'm long gone?
You know, people, that song, when he sang it the first time, when he just wrote it, he knew he was dying. And
Get out, really?
he had the
Holy shit.
amazing. The guy had an amazing sense of humor, and I'm playing this guy's. The show's turned into kind of a tribute to my friend Ace. He sadly passed away, and I'm having a hard time getting a hold of his publisher and his ex-wife. I want to send some flowers along with some other things. I have the permission to tell any of you bands out there, go to Ace Arlo, his official music page, and listen to his songs. And it's one thing if you're a country artist, you could be a rock artist. That song right there means more in my heart because I sat with him when he was in the process of writing it. And I'll tell you the truth, it just tears me up, man. It's like, he was such a live and vital person. And I meet a lot of people on the show, and Ace was what I will just tell anybody watching. I can't say what a fine man he was. he thought about this and wrote this song because what I mentioned earlier. I'm going to call up. I'm going to go back and we're going to look at a couple of the other things I hear. I'm going back to acearlo.com. This guy has been doing music all his life. He's very well known in Nashville. Is he a countrywide name? No, not amongst us fans, but as far as people out there, Tim McBride, people who've used his music, this is a real one-of-a-kind songwriter, folks. And I am going to just urge you, please go and buy the records. I'll have the information on where. But more importantly, listen to this guy's song. And I want you to think about something. You know, we're all going to go someday. And the worst thing you can do is live your life where you're going to have regrets later. And if you really want a chance to do some good for a lot of people, our veterans get pretty much crapped on by the government. They sound good when they're recruiting you and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just not great of a deal. I'd much rather see people take some of these songs that meant so much to Ace and his many thousands of fans. I'm here to tell you I've got a little bit of involvement in this, and I don't know if it's going to come to pass, but I may be one of the producers who are making sure this goes good. I want anybody out there to take some of these songs, do something good with it.
Yep.
If you're working on the project and you get stuck, you don't know, look, I was his friend. I'll do my best to make sure his stuff sounds good. And I'm going to just say this from the get-go. If you want to take one of his songs, make it as important to you as it is to me, and more importantly to Ace. He's gone. He did this out of the good of his heart. He could have given all that money to his band, his kids. He could have done a lot of things with it. And the fact that you can get a songwriter this caliber who's passed and actually get even into using any of it. Try calling up any number of great musicians and telling them, hey, when you die, can I do your song over and get half of the royalty? I'm sorry, man. It's not going to happen.
No.
Ace was
not
a publisher, and I have to tell you, I feel like crap inside. Playing these, I feel good, but I just... One of the more creative people I've met in my many years in this industry, and I miss the hell out of him. I miss calling him up. I'm going to try and find something right now, which is one of the first things he played on the show. One of the reasons I called up Ace is right before Christmas, I believe 2 years ago. I was looking to get some Christmas cheer on the show, as usual, and had an assortment of people send me stuff. Some of it was great, some of it was amazing, some of it was a little forgettable, but we'll give them a shot next Christmas. I probably have about 200 things, so since Mandy's with me now, I'm going to give her 100 of them and tell her to have her day. I know you have nothing else to do in your life between your son, teaching, running a band, and for anybody watching, Mandy's got a great band. They kick ass. What are they called, Mandy?
Twisted Ginger.
That's right, and they are rock and roll. They are fun. She is a singer, and don't let what they tell you about redheads scare you. This chick will peel paint off the wall. In fact, she comes to any venue I'm just gonna have them put a nice little silver glass thing over the stage.
Nice.
And I don't
That's
know,
what's
we'll
up.
do something cool to have lights to make you look all shiny or something, all right?
Yeah,
Or better yet,
yeah.
I'll put you in a green screen suit in front of the green screen. With your
Green screen
disembodied head.
It's so weird and
We'll
awesome.
get a couple of people behind you.
Not.
I really want
Nice.
to... and so for some other things about the show, that Mandy's pretty new to the show, but we've been friends for a few years because I've had her on.
Yeah.
I just, she just got the right stuff, people. She's not afraid of me.
Oh yeah.
I was
No.
willing to sign my sexual harassment that happens every day, and she signed it and laughed. She went, ha ha ha.
This is not
that game.
thing.
You ain't seen nothing yet, right? But
Yep.
have I always treated you like a gentleman?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
We have
Yeah.
a good sense of humor. We say stuff that you'd probably all cringe and think we're terrible people, but we are.
Yeah.
But you get
Sometimes.
over it.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're kind of what I call
You'll get used to it.
Listen, people, I don't have to pay. I'm not begging you to watch this show. In fact, what I would tell you is be prepared to have sacred cows skewered and barbecued, Mongolian beef style. If you have an incredibly crazy question or an idea, or say you have a manifesto, before you go out and start getting loony and acting on the manifesto, come on the Live with Neve show.
That's right.
We'll have a.
That's right.
We'll talk, man. Your
We'll talk
manifesto just
it out. Talk it out.
It might just need a little editing. Between Mandy and I, she is a teacher. She's matriculated from a very fine university. And between us, we can like basically write, well, a good fuck joke.
Oh yeah.
Or we can.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you know. Oh, you already know.
I mean, we've got skills, you know. Or we could write. I don't know. We could write a 10-page thesis on why the Neve show is so cool, and no matter where you've come from, you've never seen anything like this.
It's true. It's true.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, even the naked cowboy said that. Yep.
Who said that?
The naked cowboy. He said that when he was on your show.
Actually, he told me this is one of his favorite shows now, which makes me feel great. I love the naked cowboy. Last week he went over and was out in front. Trump was down there getting perp walked or whatever they were doing. You know, it's like there's like 9 million goofs out there. They're just dying to see a picture of him in an orange suit and handcuffs and. There's a lot of people who'd like to see a lot of prisoners in there, but just myself, it's just not cool. There's been so many crooked politicians we haven't done shit like that to, so I don't think it's cool. But again, I don't care who you vote for, man. I love you, either side. If you're really psycho, though, on either side, and you're kind of the kind of person that, if you're a Democrat, the other Democrats are like, they sneak off and they say we're going to get subs, and they only buy like 6. Back somewhere.
Lies!
Don't give him a fucking sandwich. He's an asshole. So wherever you go, get the best you can out of people. And I mean this. Something I'm going to say about Ace. Most musicians I know, they care about themselves. They care about their family. They care about their band. If they're any good, if your band, if you don't personally like them. I don't care how short it is. If you've had somebody in your band and from day one you just had a little rub because they're an asshole, believe me, if people are acting like a dick at the first rehearsal, don't wait till the third one. Don't be mean. Handle it the way I'd handle it. Hey man, thanks a lot for coming out. I appreciate you putting some time into learning the songs. We still have about 400 more auditions, but don't let that, bum you. And we'll call you. I also have a friend who's hiring down at this insulation company in town, and they're paying pretty good. Maybe you give him a call and you can get a day job, and then you can afford to work at night. I don't know. Sometimes my ideas, some people just don't understand satire or a good attempt at a joke. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, Mandy, if you'd be so glad tonight and kind to post this on your pages, because I want to get the word out to everybody out there that right now. I'm going to tell you the joke. I was from Facebook.
I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, I love it. That makes my day. That's like getting a gold record when you're in radio.
I was going to say.
I mean, the fact that I annoyed Zuck. And here's the thing about it. It's so stupid because it's a total joke. And then I'm going to do a poll after this. And then we're going to get out of here because I have to go and deal with something tonight that you probably know. I've been having problems. And I'll just tell you, it's amazing when you have an attorney involved and you just have them make a few inquiries for you. People get nice and friendly. And I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, that's good.
When I win, I don't gloat. I do it in the car. I go, fuck you. But when I'm there, look, in sales and anything, life is based on transactions, people. And my goal, whether you're buying from me, hiring my band, hiring my sister, hiring anybody. If you are, and I say, this is the price, this is what it costs, and you'll have it by the 18th, you're going to get it. I'm not going to ring you up in a week and say, well, I kind of forgot about getting gas to the generator, and I'm waiting for some money from my brother's friend who's in San Diego, and his girlfriend's got money. You get all that crap. But look, just go out there, people. Do your best. Whatever level you're at in the music industry, if somebody tells you you suck, just look at them and go, what are you doing? And I encourage all of us, get a strong sense of who you are. Remember, if
Yep.
you're in sales, all day long, if you're knocking on doors, which thankfully the industry, we now use internet and email and crap, but I will tell you, I work in New York City, and when I'm out doing sales, and I have to bang on doors because I get appointments, but if I'm spending $40 to get on the boat and come home and back, I'm going to go there about 10 o'clock and had a nice breakfast. I probably will have 2 appointments. But then when those are done, if they're just the kind of appointment where I'm going to talk to them and get them into the boat, hopefully, it's over. So while I'm out there, I'll go get a good lunch after my breakfast, and then I'll cold call 4 or 5 buildings. But then, of course, I've got a list of phone calls on my phone that have to be dealt with. And if you're going to be in sales, it's the same way you should run your affairs. If there's a problem that's got 2 people or 3 all really pissed off at each other, and the only way is to act like Solomon, and we can say, okay, I got the baby, we're going to cut this sucker in half. You can have one and you get the other. Or we can say, how's this, guys? We're just going to do this gig. We're going to split the profits 3 ways, minus the 20% for the expenses. We're all making the same thing. The expenses are getting paid, and we're done. If you have songs that you think, a lot of songwriters neglect this. They think because you wrote a song and it's only yours, that it's not your cousin. It's not the first girl you slept with or guy. It's just a song. If you got one good one, all I advise you is to do the kind of stuff. Just to give you an idea of what my method is. Right here you can see 2 books that I write, song letters. You can see 3 books here that I bought from the Warren Zevon estate. One of them is called The Book of Forms. It's a book about the many forms of poetry and how to write it. Now, a lot of you rock and roller guys go, oh, you write poetry, you must be a fag or whatever. Bullshit. I'll tell you what, you know how to write a good poem, and you're a heterosexual guy, there's lots of women who really dig poetry.
Yeah.
If you're good at it,
That's true. Yep.
they'll sit and listen to you talk. They'll actually pay attention.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to do things in the world. Try them, pick them, and don't be afraid of people. If you're an old person, man, and what I mean is old is any age where somebody below you thinks you're fucking old, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be 62 in a few months. I still have the mental age of a 3-month-old chinchilla, probably. However, I'm good at foraging. I kick up lots of leaves when I go out in the yard to relieve myself. My neighbors love it. They say, oh, it's that weird guy next door. You know, he's a drummer and he's just a little crazy, but he never hurts anybody. He feeds the cats in the neighborhood. And he's a pretty simple guy, man. So for all you people who are watching, there's only one of you. If you made it here from Facebook, trust me, we're going to get off in a little bit. I'm actually having fun, and because of my medical issues, I'm not supposed to get riled up, pissed off. I'm not to have, and I can't have like a wild 3-way with a Great Dane up on my roof. They get fun out of just the little things in life that make it just kind of different, you know? All those are out of my reach. I can't play drums because if I sit down and play, I can definitely get a stroke going real quick. Because you ever been with a drummer who's one of those guys, and I don't even know if their arm moves enough to, like their volume, their dynamics are horrible.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
One thing, it's like a 3-legged dog trying to run.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The guy because we're on stage, and everybody in the band's going, shit, who the hell can I find for a drummer? It could be the guitar player, the bass player, or it could just be anybody who's that one guy in the band or girl who's like biting on tinfoil. You know the kind of people who you get them in and they've got great chops, but they got sand in them. They're like biting a piece of tinfoil or copper. Everything you've done with the band, they're going to come in there with like 100 songs they think you should do. And then all the songs you've picked, they're going to go over and tell like the other guitar player, oh, dude, like, I hate to say it, but in the last measure, that's like a triple fucking minor diminished fifth. It's a jazz chord, and like, if you weren't such a wanker, you might know it. So how about I'll give you a lesson. And of course, the guitar players hate each other. And you can go forward for years with that shit. I feel like anything I do from now on, because I've been in life long enough, I have enough musical friends. If they ask me to go out and play for, say, a tour, like I have 6 weeks booked. My drummer's flaked out. He had a brain seizure, or he's like me. I don't know. He ran off to Tahiti and was living a life of sin. It's looking more and more appealing the way this crazy world's going. I'm kind of thinking down there, buy myself a small hovel on the beach. I'll have the only hovel with a big, enormous satellite uplink.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have our own
exactly.
power, and we'll just hang out there. We'll do kind of the king.com thing. But we'll make it so cool. Think of Epstein Island without like a bunch of 12-year-olds running around with all the bands from around the world. But we have all the best people in the world, celebrities, but we don't offer any of that crap. You get a really nice bungalow. You get great massage in your back and all that. And then you get to see the greatest rock and roll bands. Have bands like the Stones in, say, a 400-seat amphitheater. If the Stones can get $1,000 for a seat 400 feet back, and Mick can get $1,000 for seats like anywhere from the middle of the arena up to nosebleeds sometimes. I know you're going to listen to me, Jan Wayner, and bite me, okay? First off, keeping Warren Zevon out of the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure you'll boycott me too, but go ahead. I don't give a crap. Run your organization right, or hire me, and I'll show you how to do this shit. Remember this, guys. I love Beyonce's an incredibly talented woman. So's Dolly Big Boob Parton. She had the brains to say, I'm nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't want that. I'm not a country singer. That's because Dolly's got real integrity, man. She's like, why take, like, there's so many rock and rollers who should be in there. Why on God's earth do we put Beyonce, Ya Rule, you be coming next? I mean, I like rap. Why isn't there, seriously, with rap and R&B being as used as it is, why is there not a rap hall of fame, man? We could go back to the guys in the 80s playing up there, not Dr. Dre, he's a California guy, Sugar Hill Gang. Now, that was a long time ago, but the first time that came out, I don't care who you are. You don't have to like rap or anything. I happen to like anything with a good groove.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like, and people have thought about the melody or the lyrics are good. There's a good way to write song lyrics, and there's a sucko way. False rhymes. I met that baby and my life was on the line, so now I think it's all being borrowed time. Go get the fuck out of here. Trust me, people, if you're writing songs and you don't have a good grasp of the English language, and get a thesaurus, number one. Number two, start looking at other songwriters who are really good. Even Gershwin. Go back and look at the elements structure of a song. You'll start to pick up on it.
Yeah, and then things just start to make sense. Yeah, it's like it's almost just plugging it in like a formula. Once you know the words, it's just like boop, boop, boop.
And if you really want to sound like somebody else, people, influences is one thing, but I'm going to say this because of all the people that come through here. I've had famous people, I've had non-famous, I've had people I really liked who I think deserve to be moving up in the record business. My advice to them is do not sign a deal until you have 200,000 or 300,000 fans. You've released a bunch of records on your own label, and when you go into the label, you walk in there and you drop your balls right on the table and tell them, if I don't get this, I'm out of here. And then some poor executive is going to see me standing there with my nuts on his desk. And I'm going to be kind of surly. I'll have a beard. And I'll go, look, man, let's get the party going. We're signing a deal today. But don't give me one of these shank deals. I'm too old for that shit. We're going to do a split, brother, because otherwise I have friends who will give me the $1 million or $2 million to produce this if it's good enough. So you'll miss out. You'll be like that guy. I told this guy once, you don't sign my band, you're going to be like that guy one day. He didn't sign the Beatles the next day. 50 years later, people... And when one day, 10 years from now, when my picture's in Wikipedia, and yours, you're going to be the guy who turned on my Neil Van Erdy's show, which then became the greatest late night show on television since Howard
Yeah,
Stern. Wow,
I'm down
man.
with that. I'm down with that.
I got a friend of mine who we disagree on so many things, public or political, but I want to say this about my friend. I respect Jay highly. He is a smart person. We disagree on politics all the time. We've had arguments in I'm trying to think, like the Outback, like back during the Bush. Bush was running against Al Gore, the inventor of the internet, and we were obviously on. We've been having political fights since we were about 20, but I love him to death, and I'll say he's one of the few Democrats I know changes my mind once in a while. In fact, right now we haven't got to sit down because I don't drink anymore. But next time I see him, I'm going to sit down. He's going to give him a bunch of beers. I'm going to smoke a few doobers, and we're going to just sit there and rag on each other for 10 minutes. But I've never
Nice.
gone away mad from him. The thing about it is, I respect him. He thinks the way he does. He has the same motives I do. He disagrees with me profoundly on all kinds of things. I disagree on things he disagrees with. But the bottom line is, he's a thinking person. The way it used to be in our country, you could have friends and not curse them, call them Nazis or snowflakes. You just went, my neighbor thinks differently than I do. Now they've used the blowtorch effect to blow up race relations. I've never seen them so bad.
Yeah.
I won't mention who did it because I've seen things and talked to people. I'm a blue-collar guy. I worked up to being more than a blue-collar person in my life, but it wasn't like my folks didn't hand me $6 billion and say,
Yeah.
You know, remember that saying, people? Genius works well with inheritance. Seriously, people think about the people you went to school with. The dumbest son of a bitch in your class. The guy was always getting picked on by somebody. His dad was ungodly wealthy. He was one of those people that like nobody wanted to date. He was a pain in the ass to hang out with, or her. She kind of chick who like pulls at her hair and stuff. A friend of mine told me that those chicks are the best ones to date. They're like crazy as hell, and that's the kind of thing when you have to do what we call safe sex. That's where you say, hey, I'm going to meet you at 7th Avenue and 22nd Street in Asbury Park, right down the street from the radio station. Just be hanging out on the corner, and I'm going to swing by, pick you up, we're going to go to dinner. What happens, allegedly happens, I'm not going to say anything more. What allegedly happens is you take a ride by. You tell them, I'm going to be in a black BMW. Well, you roll by in your Jag. They're not looking at you because they might know what you look like if they've seen a radio or a band picture. Well, it's pretty damn evil, but you cruise by, you do a quick assessment. If they've sent you a picture from 6 years ago and say they've blocked up, it happens to women too all the time, I know. It's like being on Plenty of Fish. That is like the worst. I mean, first off, you can get worms. You can get all these parasites from uncooked seafood. And some of these things are really frightening. So another dating tip from Uncle Neil for all you happy people out there. There's reasons why I say things like this. Playfully suggest we hop in the shower. Bring lots of soap. Think about things. Read a few books about STDs and go in there and have a good look-see. If you see something that looks a little questionable. If you're like me, I'm the kind of guys go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I mean, I may like you.
What's that?
And is that like what is that on your lip, you know? I'm sorry. It's for me, that would be better than like reaching into some lady's pants and finding something that just shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I had a guy in my band who got the crap beat out of him by, I guess it was a transvestite, or it was a gay guy who dresses up like a woman because he had a Johnson. And my friend, we were all looking at him going, look at him go, man, I can't believe you. That chick looks good. And she did. Long blonde hair. Every guy in the bar was looking at it. And then when he came in, when he reached down, he did not have a good reaction. The creature grabbed a hold of him and said, oh yeah? Don't like this? started putting a beating on him.
No.
Yanked a couple of clumps of hair out of him.
Wow.
And we're inside going, come on, dude. This is time for quick draw McGraw. This is not time. We're not playing Russian Tolstoy novel for this sexual escapade, you know. You got about 12 minutes before the next set. She better be good, and you better be thinking and working hard, or you're not coming on stage again. I'm going to dock you. But I was getting a pee job. I don't care. It's $100. I got to make some money here. You got to have good, firm rules on stage, or guidelines, as we call them.
Guidelines.
Just don't be late. And if you get VD, please don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't tell the guitar players. If you have a wife or girlfriend, do not tell her, and do not throw down. I don't care what kind of an excuse you got to come up with, gentlemen. You can quickly fix some problem. Just tell your old lady that your balls are swelled up and they feel like grapefruits, and that you have nothing to do with it, but the doctors told you have to abstain from sex until like the 2 weeks of antibiotics, and it's time to run its course. I see people out there, they've been through shit, and I go,
Yeah.
just glad that wasn't any fuckery I happen to ever be drawn into. Or
Yeah, exactly.
another thing that can happen, have you ever had a friend who like is kind of screwing around with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and like you know it, and you kind of like both of them, but you in your head as a woman kind of know just you wouldn't date the guy because he's kind of a D-bag. Your friend's all infatuated, and they're like, oh, he dumped me. Or they call, I've had girlfriends who are friends of mine who've been girlfriends, just been friends, bandmates, and they're like, they tell me about some of these jokers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, wow, you know, that guy sounds like a real Marion man to me.
Yeah, like
He's got no job. He seems to have these strange bumps on his face, which a friend of mine today told me. He was in a band with this guy. They didn't know that he was a meth head. He's playing and coming to practice, going in their bathroom, and the house has two, siblings.
Yeah.
And he's getting all baked out and coming back to practice, and he's like...
And they had no idea.
That nobody
How?
knew until the guitar player, he's like watching him.
Yeah,
Happened a couple days, a couple practices. And then when they asked the guy, well, what's going on with the score? You're like all you look scabby, dude. You're not looking so good.
Yeah.
I'd have been telling him flat out, you get your ass down to the ladies' beauty salon, take the chick singer to get you fitted up with the right tone. You're covering that shit up. Either that or you're wearing a trash bag. We're just call you the fucking faceless bass player. Because somehow going up with some raw scatty shit on your face.
Yeah, that's a bad look. I'm sorry. It's a bad look. Yeah.
It's a bad look. And,
when you're relying on your face, like,
maybe we can get like a doctor to sit by the stage and he can handle those cases. We'll do some good for the community. Live with Neve show and free clinic. Yeah.
Fix your face. It's the Fix Your Face clinic.
So gosh, here we are. It's 4:55. Our great guest for today couldn't make it. We have talked about Ace. And by the way, Jay, I'm looking forward to seeing you, man. I agree with a few things more over the years than I have in the past. And unlike my people like you who are so highly partisan, I've actually thought about it, and I'm going to agree with something. We'll talk about it privately off the air, but I have a feeling you too. We're going to be surprised. Remember, the V-Man, I may look stupid, but I like to think, and I like to read, and I just know this. I have a good appetite for smelling bullshit out.
Yeah,
and I know
bullshit
it when
detector.
I see it, especially the club owners. I am a really kind person, but there's only a few people in my life that I assume, I put my guard up, and I assume automatically, until this person proves themselves, this is an asshole, I'm going to stay at arm's length, I'm going to listen to everything they say very carefully.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can find out that it's bullshit before I even ask them for a CD. Like I'll ask the question, how long you been playing? Oh, we did this album in like 10 months. And then we just, the last half of it, we did it in like a day. Okay, we're going to have some great quality control.
Yeah, exactly. You already know what it is. Yeah.
But, there's a good thing. And another suggestion, people out there, if you are a studio musician, an entertainer, I will tell any of you out there, if you can get a gig and you can pull that son of a bitch off, go and do it. Whether you can play or not, I had dial a drummer for years where people would call me at 4 in the afternoon wanting to be there from 6 to midnight or 8 till 10 or 8 to 2 in the morning. Their drummer flaked. They've got their club packed. It's got drums, and they did not know what to do. Well, in Tampa is a small pond, so all my friends, they got in a bind. They're like, well, we'll call Neil. He might come down. Well,
Yeah, what's going on?
It started happening so much that I realized
Who is
this
it?
is a viable commodity because when
Okay,
you
then leave it.
go ahead. It's a viable thing because when people need a drummer and they have a gig that night and they can't cancel, it's going to ruin their reputation. And now it's easy because now if you called me and said tomorrow night I got to be there, you could just give me your song list. First off, almost everything on there I know I've played at least 100 times. I've seen your song list on what you play. Second, the ones I don't know, I could be literally riding up in my car hearing the tunes because it's never going to be that I don't know the tune.
Yeah,
I would be listening
yeah.
to all the signature breaks. I'd be listening, even if I wasn't asked to sing, I'll be listening to every background vocal, finding a spot in my head while driving that I could fit in, and they'd all go, wow, that was pretty cool. He
Yeah.
did a fifth. Actually, he
Yeah.
did an eighth. He did something that that's Brian Wilson kind of shit.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what excites me is doing like cool stuff.
yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
all I'm in it for. I don't know about you, but we're both lifers, and
Yeah.
it's just a calling.
Yeah,
I don't know what you'd do, or a person like myself, or any of my other great musicians, if we couldn't find a way to make a living out of something involved, even if it's engineering, being a sound guy, being a designer of sound systems. I've done all of the above. I've been an
Yeah.
installer, I've been a designer, and believe me, when you're an installer, your life is hard. I've pulled wire, I've been as blue collar as you can get. At the end of the day, I'd go out, and on Fridays, I would go get a case of Budweiser. I'd bring it to the shop. I'd bring them the job. I'd have it in my truck in a big cooler full of ice, and I would tell my guys at about 11, all right, gentlemen, I'm going to be paying you till 3 o'clock today. You've gotten everything done on this week's list, and I'm really proud of you. You've done a great job. So, how about this? As soon as you all can inventory your truck, make sure you got everything for next week that I need to know about, I'll order it today, and I will see you at 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday. However, I have a case of beer in the trunk, and if you'd like, we'll go down to this pizza place. I'll buy us all lunch because we're off at noon. You each get a 6-pack. You go home, and we all have a great weekend. I've got a couple of gigs. My crew loved me. I was fair with them. I had one guy who would not let. One of the unwritten rules is do not fuck with someone who has a better degree than you and who knows fucking light years. I knew more before my degree than this guy will ever know. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I don't have to think. I can tell you and fix shit in an emergency because I know how to get a show on the road. And that's what life's about.
Yeah.
You got to have a band where everybody gives a shit to such a level that no matter what they're asked to do, they go, if that'll help, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I mean, people get successful who show up on time, start hauling gear without being asked. At the end of the night, they find out whoever's in charge of packing cables, and you say, how do you pack your cords?
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't know, and I get a little snitty in a Full Sail kind of way, and I'm like, let me show you this. This is the best way to coil your cords. They'll last you 20 years if you do this. If you don't care and you like weeding into a box of undone cables, you can say, fuck me, and it's not going to bug me. I'm not going to be here next week gig, so.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Move
That's on
on.
you. Yeah, exactly.
But, all those things, I think, musicians like anything else, if you're going to approach it to be good and really want to be good, you better work at it. Because
Yeah.
you and I both know, if you don't put in the work and the time and the continuing practice all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some singers, okay? And I'm not saying anything except the fact that, like, this one woman tells me, I said something about practicing, right? Like my practice habits, how I just feel like I need to do a little every day. I just always do.
Right.
That's always me. It just feels right. It's just not. And she's like, oh, I haven't practiced in years. I'm like, in years? And you sing in front of actual people? Like, and part of it is, it's like,
What happened? They get stuck there, and then
Yeah.
because they're working.
Yeah, and just like, you know,
Jay,
and
I'll
yeah,
see you, man. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. Jay, have a great weekend. I'm going to call you over the holiday, and I'll fill you in on what's going on. I'm going to have my neck reamed sometime next week. I've already prepared my music for the staff. I've got a
nice.
couple of $100 bills and nice cards for the number of staff, so that when I tell them, you start geeking around in my neck, think about this as, say, Tom Brady's, and that you want to do the best surgery you ever done because Tom's a cool guy. Well, my life matters, to me at least. Do take good care of me, please. And then
Yeah.
I'll give him a few jokes. Last time it was the Michael Jackson. They told me what the anesthetic was, and I went, wow, I never did get invited to Michael Jackson's house. This will be cool. And so just as they gave it in and I felt it hitting, I went, the last thing I remember is everybody in the room cracking up laughing. And I had them going from the time I got in there because, to tell you the truth, I was hiding my own real fucking terror.
Sure.
I
sure.
can tell you, I'm laughing and yucking it up about it. But really,
but yeah.
I'm doing it because I don't want to sit here and focus on that in a bad way. To me,
Right.
this is just another comedy show to go and have some laughs. And because I find that relaxing people are about to do surgery on you, and so they think you're funny, they'll work a little harder. Because think about
Yeah.
it. I have
Yeah.
to say this. If I was a doctor, it says do no harm. I'm just going to say this. If there was some child molesting freak who they caught with like 8 kids in his basement,
Yeah.
and they threw him down the stairs coming into the police station, he's got a couple of bruises. I'm really troubled by that.
Yeah.
I'm all for fair justice, but I don't know. First off, the recidivism rate for those pervert child molesters is so high, there's no fixing them. So you either send them to Pervert Island, which we can do. I just put me in charge, man. The budget will be cheap, too. First off, we'll have them build all their own houses. We'll have people supervising them so they build a nice little place for themselves. Maybe after a couple of years on Succo Island, instead of sitting in jail lifting weights, they might just decide, you know, I learned enough to build a fucking house out of the woods with some tools. I'm going to apply for parole and be a good person again. There are people in jail for some of the dumbest shit that I just don't think it makes sense as a society to toss them away. Now, on the other hand, if I had to go to a divorce class where they teach you not to yell and fight with your spouse. By the time you go to one of those, there's been so much said. I've never seen it work for a couple. By the time they get there, within a week of going, one or the other just says, fuck marriage counseling. They're not fair to the two of us.
Yeah.
Nobody practices like they should. My friend Jay, you're absolutely right, brother. And I know he's heard me say it for all my life. Everybody wants to do band shit until it's time to do band shit.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
sit. And the worst thing for me is when you have like a good practice and you assign, say, 2 songs. It's one thing if they tell you, you got to learn 10 songs perfectly by Wednesday and it's on Monday night.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, you
You're
could, but
gonna
it's
get
not going to
out.
be the same as if you have like 2 or 3,
And
you
if,
know?
and if you've had a couple of rehearsals where everybody walked out feeling, wow.
Yeah.
Do you find this? I find a lot of the times when people bring songs in, that rather than me just automatically, because like I know there's singing capabilities, and then they say they want to bring something in that I clearly think is outrageous.
Yeah.
I don't feel good pissing on somebody's goals to get better within the framework of my band or any band.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to help them. If they want to sing in the band, I always tell them, bring them to practice, give it to everybody a few days. Just give the list to everybody. All the people I play with are competent. They know what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna learn it. We're gonna practice it. We'll do it a couple of practices. I know myself within the fucking first time when we play the song right after noodling around and it's coming together. I know it's there. I can tell immediately this is gonna work. Our band just jumped on it so easily.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some other songs, and you can never account for taste in a band. Like you be in a rock and roll band, and some guy wants to come in and play like, I don't know, Jesus is Just All Right with Me. It's a death metal show. I would do that just for fun. I really would. I'd come out and I'd do the Doobie Brothers like, Jesus, it's just
Yeah.
I think that's entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, you can twist
Pardon
anything.
me.
I always like some crazy ideas. You know, that's something that we've been wanting to do more of is, you know, just like switch up a couple styles, like, you know, make things a little bit harder than, you know,
I
than they
also
otherwise would
suggest
be.
changing words selectively. Here's an example. I want to hold your hand. Much more fun because people sing along with you in the audience is find somebody singing along with you and you look them right in the eye and you go, I want to hold your gland. Oh, babe, when I see you, I know
You're-
I understand. I just want to hold your gland. And if you're in a hip band, your friends like look at you and they're like, "Are you singing Gland?" No, not me. I'm just innocent. I'm just here. I'm just a drummer. Don't shoot me. But I've always liked doing crap like that. And if I have a band of friends and we're all
Yeah.
kind of such a when we're a team and we all know
Yeah.
each other good, it's really
Yeah.
fun. Because
Yeah.
even when I really bomb, I'm not afraid to be told that was really awful. It's part of the fun of
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And, you know, from a good comedic standpoint, another thing, I'll just do something really deadpan so that people in the audience will think we're doing something really serious. Like I'll say, with a perfectly straight face, you guys have been rocking so good tonight. The only way we're going to get out of this and turn it into a really special night, we're going to play some Barry Manilow now called Feelings. Of course, my whole band's like, you asshole. And then at that point, some jerk from fucking Detroit sitting on the beach, he's like, dude, he said they were going to play this. Or Sloopy, or something like that. But always remember, that is a money-making opportunity. I tell them, the band works for tips. We have a sliding fee scale. For example, Feelings, if we have to do it in the actual Barry Manilow form, that's $100 a man. On the other hand, if we can play our more fun and slightly changed word version, we'll have your audience laughing and we'll have a bunch of money in our tip jar. Because we will make it like nothing they've ever heard. You remember who Oingo Boingo is?
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
Elfman. Mm-hmm. In like the 70s and 79, I started playing this with various bands in Plant City that I had. I had a bunch of friends. Jay was in bands, several with me over the years. He's a bass player, and I won't make fun of him because he's a smart guy. He's a lawyer, and so, you know, I have to count on him for getting me out in Florida. That's all I can say. I hate all lawyers except mine, and Jay is a great lawyer, and he's an excellent bass player. And in knowing him since high school, he went back in high school and played like shit. But the guy has stood with it. The last time I had a rock and roll barbecue in Florida and he came to the jam, it was the best time. We were
Nice.
playing Sympathy for the Devil, and when we got done, I looked at him and I said, man, you've just gotten so much better since the last time we played together. And he's got a band. They go out, they do regular gigs. They're kind of cool because they're all jazz guys. And they're all real good. Like Jay's always listened to good music. And in spite of our political differences, that's really just half of our... I'd really miss it if he tomorrow told me he was going to go vote for Donald Trump. Even though I may like Donald Trump, or I may not. Basically what it is, I like things about both parties. I think they keep us divided so that we can't really get anything done. And
That's true.
There's no false
believe that.
equivalence, Jay. Please don't type that. I'm at the point in my life right now that honestly, I'm not buying shit from anybody. I'm from the show me state. Show me the money, state the terms, let's sign and let's get some shit done. And I move on. We get it done, and we having all these people running around, you know, acting stupid. And my friend Jay here is a wonderful attorney. Once got a call at midnight during, I believe it was the Hanging Chad's years. Dole down in Florida. Or no, who was it? It was Al Gore, excuse me. And we had Hanging Chads in Florida that some of these old bastards who were 105 are the ones they drive in on a bus with all the gomes on it. They sign their ballot and somebody goes in and chooses it. But we never have that happen, Jay, because there is no mafia and nobody ever cheats.
Yeah.
I'm poking fun, hoping he's still here, because I know he'll. The thing I like about him, we're both friends. He'll throw that shit right back at me, and we'll have a really fun. Because we both like to be right. I'm a shit loser, and so is he. And if I didn't have that yin to my yang, he's like really been one of my best friends. And
Yeah.
when I actually do give a shit about something the Democrats are doing that I think is a good thing, I'll ring him up because I want to know, well, where do we find more of you guys? That's a good bill.
Yeah.
I'm sick of politics because just all you fuckers, knock it off. Stop
Yeah.
talking about all of the other things the parties do bad. Talk about your ideas, your vision. Talk about finding, like how I find songs. If I go to a new band, I look, everyone I know I cross out. There's 8 or 10 of them I need to work on. So do that shit in politics.
Yeah.
I could sit down with if they gave me unlimited authority to sit down with another Democrat who has the authority to sign some stuff. Before we did it, I'd sit with the guy, however long it took. I'd say, what is it going to take to like make things work where I don't have to go back to these boneheads and you ain't got to go back to the leadership and the real hyper partisans. Let's get the shit that's really too divisional. Let's solve some small things. Keep our word. Let's do things that, regardless of what party we're in, we think good. We agree that it's good, which very rarely happens. And it's not because we can't make decisions as a group. It's because we're all exposed to endless thousands of hours in your lifetime. They've been trying to convert you one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. Try to separate. Separate.
And divide. I say the same thing with keeping churches. I don't want some freaking Bible thumper. I'm sorry, I don't care what you practice. I respect you if you practice it, if you live it, if you're a good person, wherever you get your empathy and your wherever you get your values from, I really don't care. Don't be a hypocrite and jive around and talk to some religious person and then talk shit. You don't have to be religious to know that bearing false witness and passing on gossip and shit like that, these are just bad things. I ask my atheist friends sometimes, even if you're not religious, what's wrong with the frickin' 10 Commandments? I've embraced them all, and some of them were a lot of fun, to tell you the truth. Sometimes fucking around is a lot of fun and being a little wild. But if you really try to walk those things and you're not mean to people and you truly just try to be a good, decent, giving person, it's a good way to be.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? Speak softly. Let your actions speak for you. I'm in the middle of an imbroglio right now where I was asked with a straight face why I acted in a very vicious manner, hired an attorney, and took rights to protect myself from someone. And that person was like, well, why didn't you call and talk to me? I said, we've been talking for months. I've told you a number of times. I've apologized for the few things that weren't handled correctly. But every company's human. I don't want you for a customer. You're not worth the trouble. And I'm not going to do ads for you. In fact, I don't want to do anything for you. I won't talk bad about you on my show.
Yeah, just nothing.
You're just a
nothing.
schmuck, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm giving somebody the best, fairest deal, and I am a fair person, I don't mind giving up to get a little bit. You got to do that.
Yeah.
As long as you get mostly close on both parties,
yeah,
then you won't have people with buyer's remorse. It's just like selling the band.
Yeah.
You and I both know. You don't want to go in and tell them you're Led Zeppelin in the next incarnation, and you go in and you suck.
Yeah.
I can't stand that kind of crap. No. Have you ever in your life gotten in that situation where you got booed?
But yeah, luckily I haven't gotten booed in my life. Yeah.
That's very cool because like I have when I was in like 7th grade. And then the next time we played there, because we'd gotten booed, we had boxes of candy. Some friends of mine purloined these boxes of candy, and we brought them to the show. And we were like, I thought I was Mick Jagger. I was a singer back then. I'm out there doing my Mick thing, and I got this big box on stage. And our thing at the end when we played Jimi Hendrix was we were going to start throwing gum into the audience. When we started doing this, I got the feeling what rock and roll is all about. instant mosh pit of people fighting over little strumpet bars or whatever. And it was total madness. And I'm up there
Nice.
singing, and I'm looking at the audience, and I'm going, God, this feels great, man. I'm having a blast. And then I see the shop teacher. He comes running up on stage. You guys got to stop. And I'm like, no, stop playing. And he kept playing. And then they went back, turned off the PA. The place was still having a fit. People are fighting over things of Jiffy Stripe gum.
That's
whatever
funny.
it does to your tongue. So we had all that. And that night when I went home, I got to be honest, man, I was just like, I think I was 12 or 13. I felt like Mick Jagger that night. I was up there
Yeah.
singing Sympathy for the Devil and all these cool tunes. And we got the teachers all out of their minds. And it was like, I got that feeling that, you know, I'm not really good at sports until I learn one. You know, I always just played music, but once I would like meet a friend who was into something, I've learned to be, you know,
Yeah.
I can volley good. I have a great pitching hand, and I love to do that. I like to play basketball. I've broken both of my arms a couple times because I'm the rebound guy. Remember when they had that? You had Michael Jordan, and then you had the crazy guy. What was his name? He's got all the piercings. Dennis Rodman. There was nobody. If you had the ball, that guy wouldn't come up and just snatch it out of your hand.
Yeah.
And one thing from being a drummer I don't have great athletic skill. I don't even want to have great athletic skill other than the things I like to do for fun. I don't have to be like sitting in the gym every day pumping out to go play basketball and go nuts.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just have to do it without breaking my arms. But I just found that over life, as I grew older, I used to get, you know, I was a nerd, so I'd get a lot of grief from the jocks because you move somewhere new, they don't know you. You're kind of sitting there alone, and eventually somebody's like, there's that one asshole in every gym class. But the guy who started, I became the object of his scorn. He just kept calling me a nerd and, you know, egghead and picking on me basically. And I was nothing like I was now. I had no confidence. I was terrified this big goof is going to just beat the shit out of me. But he kept picking on me. The fourth time, I'm walking down the hall with a book in my books here. I had this little girlfriend that was completely innocent. She was just like my friend. She was the librarian chick. And I had the sweets for her in a very innocent, wholesome way. I'm walking with her feeling really nice. I didn't get beat up in gym. And then that asshole came up behind me, popped me on the right side of the head, off the locker, my books hit the floor. People are coming to run. He's like standing out there going, come on, come on. Well, I said, I'm really tired of this. I don't like getting my ass kicked. This sucks. I'm sick of it. I jumped up on him because he was a tall guy, got my arm around his head, and I just started wailing the piss out of him. 6-foot guy versus a 4'8" dude. I rode his ass to the ground, put my 100-pound body on top and wheeling him up. He's trying to hit me. He's like hitting the back of my head. Every time he wouldn't stop, I'd go, I'll let you up if you cut this shit out. And he'd try and hit me a couple more times.
Yeah.
So I'd drill him in the nose, like hard, 3 times. The guy was a mess. And I said, just quit it, man. And it was the worst part of this, he had like all these zits and acne, and he had like pock marks. And when I hit him, he was so greasy, I couldn't even really get a good swing on him. It was disgusting. But then, because of all this attention going on, I couldn't afford to let him up. Because if I let him up, I knew he was going to kick my ass.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and wailed
You were in
on him.
it for the long haul.
I was in it. You're not getting up until you
Yeah.
settle down. Every time you try and punch me, I'm going to hit you twice as hard. So this went on for 10 minutes until the gym coach comes out. They're about to have field hockey practices. He hears all this mess in the hallway. They're all going, you gotta see this, look at this shit. Ah! Girls screaming. They're all
Nice.
standing around doing bets. It was great. And I'm the new kid in town.
Yeah.
So they're like, who is that? Nobody knew me. And coach comes up. He's got a field hockey stick. He goes, let go of him, Neil. I said, I can't, coach. He goes, why is that? I said, because every time I try to let him loose, and I've told him I'd let him loose if he'd quit, he goes to take a swing at me. About that time, he tried to pop me in the face again. So I did the same thing. I just drilled him. And the coach goes, he beat me on the back with this field hockey stick. I said, Coach, if you want to switch places with me and hang on the ground, I'll get away from him. I don't want to, he's not going to bother me ever again. Maybe you can take him to the nurse's office. So I finally get like, him and the other coach are dragging me, and I'm picking this big mook up because I've got him in a severe lock. He ain't going nowhere. And finally, they've had to like pry my arm loose. We get sent down to the principal's office. The guy, see, they didn't know me, so they didn't think I was like necessarily a bad kid. And I went in there and I said, look, I've only been here a month. This goon's been giving me grief in gym class. He always calls me a pussy and shit like that. And I was a little scrawny guy. And you learn, though. I'm not a scrawny guy anymore, and I'm not afraid of much. I went to, some martial arts classes. Moving every few years, you're always going to have somebody you've got to just give them the little.
Sure.
And I stopped worrying about it when I'd move. It used to really bug me. And as I got older, it got easier. Because by then I had a skill, a talent. I was good in art. I was good in some gym classes. And I was just a really good musician. And that's the one thing that made me survive anything I've ever faced. Every time I've had something really bad in life, I always come back. And when I start a band or go out and play with somebody who I really like, all your problems they go away.
Yep.
They're still there when you come back, but
for that moment, for that time, you're in the zone.
Place, and any band can be the best rock and roll band on the planet on any given night, because everywhere it is, there's thousands of people every night. Right. And believe me, for all the fans, this is a late show. I'm having fun because I've honestly been in the hospital. I haven't anybody to talk to. I came home and probably talked my girl's ear off like till 2 a.m, and she loves me to death. But I know it. She's not been sleeping because I've been in the hospital, which doesn't make it. The cats are weird, but I'm glad you're here. We're both alive.
Yeah.
If we'll talk, but would you feel comfortable hosting a show?
Like by myself?
Yeah, if I showed you what to do.
Perhaps. Yes.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Yes.
If we do something like that, I'll show you what to do. We'll come on here like we're doing right now, and I'll make it easy for you. And if you don't feel comfortable, keep practicing until you do. Yeah. I'm going to give you it's just easy stuff. Like, for example, if we both have a couple of assigned things, like you keep up with maybe the crawl, I'll keep up with the ad practices, because we are going to have a bunch of new ads, which is going to be so cool.
Nice.
Be able to have more, better shit. And I can hire maybe people to do some more editing, so I can do all this stuff, but the truth is, to have a great show, we need a great team.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about delegating. Yep.
If your people are out there, if any of you want to be involved with us as a social media host, host's really hard to get. I've been here 2 years, and now we're here, and things are good. Yeah. If you come here and you join our club, your family, and I promise you, I will always be fair with you. If we make an agreement on money, you'll get paid. And if you quit and I think you're a real jerk off or something, I won't tell everybody that. Somebody calls. If they call me up and they say, I had this guy, he said he used to work at your studio and this is what he likes to do. If they ask me,
I'm laughing because I run into that chick. Cause I got the goods on some people in New Jersey, and I haven't said shit.
I will be as nice to anybody as long as they're nice to me. If we have a difference, I'll be really trying hard to make us both happy to solve it. Yeah. But there's a couple things I hate. If I find somebody who's a thief in my circle of friends, they will never be in my circle of trust.
That's right.
If I see people who are all fucked up on meth, and they have first off, if they're even doing it, I don't care if fucked up or not, I don't need them in my band. I don't like people with scabs on their faces, bad teeth, and usually they stink like asks. They'd rather do other things than bathe. I'm sorry, I've had to help deal with a couple people who I took to fucking narc and on, and until they hit the bottom, none of them got clean. But I have one case, man. My friend, we picked him up from behind a dumpster in Tampa on a Christmas Eve. The guy Jay Crocker here, who I don't know if you're on anymore, Jay, but I know you know that this was one of our best times as friends in our life. we both felt so shitty that our friend had gotten hooked on crack cocaine. It got so bad that I couldn't even use him for my band, and I hated it. He's still one of my dearest friends.
Yeah.
I sold him a car on time, and after a month, one day, I'm at the gig wondering, well, where's Richard? You know, he's here to unload the drums and set up the monitors and do his gig. No call. So Ralph and I did it like we did it for 20 years before we could even afford a second guy.
Yeah.
We went in early, we stayed late, we got the shit done, got paid. Well, I go home and I'm like, where the fuck is Richard? Following Monday, I get this phone call. Hey man, like, I got mugged in where the hell were they? They were like in Melbourne or somewhere on the East Coast.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I got mugged, I got no money, they beat me up. And I'm like, well, get in your fucking car and drive home. You missed two gigs this week. You're like down $100 each night. You have nothing coming, so don't even ask. As he gets down here without the car, and he goes to his house, he's trying to ignore me. And I'm sitting in my yard watching for him to go by, because I was just going to go, come here, you and I got to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And, unfortunately, you know, he had to really work hard. But that night, we went out and we bought him a brand new suit. A nice suit, too. We spent some money to make him look good. We took him and got him a really GQ looking haircut, and his hair, I mean, I can look like Cousin Ed. I know it. Right now I'm all wet. I look like Angus Young. I'll put on my schoolboy outfit. You know, us old guy's hair looks pretty ratty when you're sweating, which I am doing at the moment. But yeah, then that night, I believe Jay came with me. We went over to my parents for Christmas Eve dinner, and Richard's always been family, and we brought him on. Oh, okay. Cool. You got about one more to go.
I didn't even realize what time it was until I was like...
You know what? What's the point in having a show where occasionally you just stretch the guidelines?
Yeah, exactly.
If we can get somebody in here to help us produce it, it'll make both our life easier, because they'll be cutting in things and they'll be telling me in my ear what. Or if I start getting long-winded or off topic, which never happens, I know, they can kind of bring it back. Where are you wandering around? What are you yammering about, man? It's like, okay, I don't think we needed to hear the part about the guy sleeping with his dog. I just saw this on YouTube today, and I'm like, you know, on Friday, man, I have to go meet and have a really shitty conversation right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so when I ride over there, I'm going to crank the Led Zeppelin in my car.
Good, I hope so.
Down. I'm going to go down there and have a Hebrew prayer with this lady and my nemesis. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell him, look, you know, tomorrow's Sabbath. How about we pray for each other's family, and we pray that we can get along together and live as neighbors in good harmony, and I bless your family. Let's just sign an agreement to start over at the beginning.
Yeah.
Clean slate, and I will assume from now on that you are really decent people, and not pricks you fucking come across as. Or we can really like make a little effort, and maybe we'll advance to just having a couple of lemonade when we're out working in the yard, not looking away from each other and having that. It's like, I don't want nothing from these people.
Yeah.
They got nothing to value that I want. They got shit I need. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And to just have them, like when we're doing the show, going on the wall and stuff, it's just bullshit. And so I'm going to go down and I'm going to try to be nice.
Yeah.
The reason why they're being very nice is because I'm not a doer. I'm a doer. I'm not a talker. I talk, I love to. But if I have a plan that somebody's fucking with me and I tell them, I'm about at the end of my rope. If I tell them twice, next time, if something's severe that matters to me, I just get a lawyer involved. And I hate to be a bastard, but I've been screwed by not doing that. I've had people take advantage of me. I've seen them take advantage of other people. And I'm not the kind who sits there. I'm a squeaky wheel. If I'm doing right and you get your money all the time, just do what you say you're going to do. I don't expect you to do the best in the world. I try to be a good tenant, and I try to keep the house up in good shape. But I'm not I'm not into having problems. Right now, my doctor's told me, you got to settle down, man, or you're going to fucking die. As we know, I'm a very high energy guy. And it's not because
Yeah.
of Coke. It's just my makeup.
No, it's just how you are. Yeah.
And, I'm glad
Yep.
this is the thing. I've done Coke in my life. The reason I don't do it is I don't care who you are, if you're a drummer, just don't do that until the after The other thing is you get so tired and fatigued when you do that. But the worst part of it is your tempo will never, ever be on the clock. And
Yeah,
everybody in
yep.
the band, if you think people won't notice, I tried it a couple times. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't even I'm like into being in that pocket, man, into the fat back groove. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like when you see a note, I'm listening to everybody and I accent off all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Once we know the tunes, I'm there to make it. I like to make the vocalists and the backup vocalists the most important part of the front end. And as a singer and as a drummer, until I started singing like 60 songs a night as the guy, which I've always had 3 or 4 guys so we could split it up. I do 20 or 40, but when you got to do 100 songs, it changes. Your voice gets much better because you're really working it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to say it. I'd be completely bored and out of my mind if I didn't have this to do. The show's great fun for the same reason. If we can get the funding and the finance and we go on the road with this thing, this is my idea, is to go to like the best, like the Count Basie Theater here in town. Had a bunch of 3,000 seats arena with this thing called the Live with Neve show, and we'll have guest artists. We have comedians. We'll have some actors, particularly if they're really stupid. I'm sorry, but the really dumb ones are fun because you can make double entendres they don't get, and people laugh. And I'm not mean spirited to it, but I occasionally will come up with something that I think is fairly amusing, and I don't know. It could be as simple as, when's the last time you dyed your hair?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got a guy who dyes his hair like. His name is Mark Hudson. He's Goldie Hawn's daughter with him. Mm-hmm. Well, his beard is all multicolored and rainbow. And he's got a gorgeous wife. It's not because he's like trying to spread the rainbow flag. It's just his. Now he's written songs for Aerosmith. He's written tons of songs for like all those bands that you heard of in the 80s and 90s. Him and Desmond Childs just wrote like a shit bunch of great tunes.
Nice.
And whenever I go see him, I kind of just rag on him like I do everybody, just poke fun. I'm like, how often you gotta dye that funky ass chin thing you got? He's like, oh, my beard, man, I love it. And his wife's like sitting across the table. She's going, you tell that story about Cher tonight, I'm gonna shave that sucker off.
Oh my God.
Because he talked about when he was dating Cher, Mike, the guy from Aerosmith, the singer.
Yeah.
Steve Tyler's trying to date her, right? Gene, of course, he's not only dating Barbara Streisand, he's dating that other one, the black lady, Diana Ross. So, Gene's being quite the dude. He's like living large, and as they say, he's smoking cash and making cash. Well, him and Cher had a how people, when you've been intimate with them, sometimes they have a name, or a name will come up. You'll be like, hey, what do you think about Coach Johnson?
Yeah.
Most women are like, all right, just go get a shower,
Yeah.
But it happens. People come up with funny things when you're intimate, and it's a private joke. Well, they had come up with the name for Cher's cooch, and the term was kukuya. Well, Gene and him get into a conversation just hanging out, and Tyler's like relentlessly begging him, what is the name? And he said, look, you cannot tell Cher this. She'll flip out that I told you. But he tells Steven Tyler the name. And then he's over at Diana Ross's place. This has been going on with the three-way thing. They're not a three-way, but it's been going on. None of them were like really bent out of shape about it. Mm-hmm. They're all having fun. They're all millionaires. It was just like, this was cool. I'll see you next year at the Oscars, But Cher calls him that night. Well, when he does the show, he does all the voices. And so he's like, I get this phone call. Now his wife's sitting across from me at the table, and she goes, God damn it, I have to listen to fucking that chair's fucking cunt again. Because he does this at every show.
Yeah.
And we're all laughing at her. And she goes, if any of you guys heard this song, I hear this every night. I'm just so sick of it. And fuck Cher and her dog that she walked in on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, she's like this hot, really brilliant, like woman in her between 30 and 40. And she's very smart. She's very savvy. And Mark needs a chick like that to keep him from just being Mark, because we all need someone. And as far as I know, he was sent here to win. But you got to go, 5:38, and I'm out of here. Thank you for everybody who's been watching. My mind has wandered. And
Happy Friday! Woo!
Happy Friday from all of us. Are you playing anywhere next week?
Let's see. No. I have a chill week this week.
Good.
Yep.
Well, remember, May 6th, we've been
That's
invited
right.
to be live with Neve at...
That's what's up.
let me just think of the name. I'm sorry, guys. It's the end of the day.
Bulletproof Studios.
Yes.
Yeah.
Advanced Audio Studios. And now I'm feeling a little verklempt, so I'm going to leave you with this nice little song. And I hope you have a great day, Mandy. I'll call you tomorrow with my shoes and my glasses.
Okay, bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.